You're watching teleSUR English. I'm Katrina Goss. We are about to go live to the closing event of the 20th Summit on the Bolivarian the Peoples of Our America Peoples Trade Treaty, which sessioned this Tuesday here in Havana. We should recall that the 20th Summit of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America Peoples Trade Treaty, held in Havana this Tuesday, saw discussion of the regional response to the pandemic and a need to bolster economic mechanisms to alleviate the most pressing needs of the peoples of the region. Representatives of member countries also celebrated the 17th anniversary of this mechanism for regional integration, founded by the historic leader of the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro, and Venezuelan Comandante Hugo Chavez, as an alternative to the neoliberal imperialist proposal of the Free Trade Area of the Americas, or ALCA. Participants in this 20th summit agreed that this anniversary serves as an opportunity to jointly evaluate measures to guarantee peace and stability, as well as political coordination to prevent foreign interference in member states' internal affairs. Among the heads of state present were host President Miguel Diaz-Canel, Bolivian President Luis Arce, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega, and the Prime Ministers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, Grenada, Keith Mitchell, Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, and Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown. This 20th ALBA-TCP summit came as member states continue to face an unjust and unequal world economic order, the existence of powers that oppose the efforts to create an independent and integrated Latin America and the Caribbean, and the climate crisis. ALBA-TCP Executive Secretary Sasha Llorenti underlined that the bloc has functioned in an exemplary manner amid the challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic, the unequal distribution of vaccines, and the illegal coercive measures imposed by the United States on 3 of its members, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. The ALBA Executive Secretary also highlighted the creation of a humanitarian fund for the acquisition of vaccines. We're now going to go live to events in Havana.
We're getting the first images of the political activity taking place at the Convention Palace in Havana, where they will be finalizing the activity and the celebration of this 20th summit of ALBA-TCP. So Army General Raúl Castro is entering right now. The Secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba. Here we have all the participants from today at the base stations of the summit, from the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America People's Trade Agreement. So we're about to begin the event that we close with golden curtains to send away. This day, such as a special day for Latin Americans and progressive Caribbean and Latin American people. This is a meeting for political agreement. So we're hearing the national anthem of Cuba. Oye, malísimo. Estaba con un...
mucho ruido.
Good evening. A day like today, 17 years ago, Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro Ruz and the eternal commander Hugo Chavez Frias founded the Alternative Bolivarian for the Peoples, Alliance for the Peoples, that led to the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America. People's Trade Agreement. ALBA, Latin American and Caribbean Integration Platform, historical and unique, covers its social dimension. It is based on the principles of solidarity, responsibility, justice, and cooperation, and promotes the union of all capacities and strengths of all the countries. Presiding this event, General of the Revolutionary Armed Forces and leader of the revolution, Raúl Castro Ruz. Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, First Secretary of the Central Committee and President of the Republic of Cuba. Nicolas Maduro, President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Luis Alberto Arce, Daniel Ortega Saavedra, Commander and President of the Nicaragua. No estoy oyendo, ahora no estoy oyendo. Ahora sí. Here too, we have ambassadors of the ALBA countries accredited in our country, representatives from organizations and Cuban institutions, and other guests. Welcome. Now, Nicolas Maduro, President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, will speak, and of ALBA. Oigo eso bajito. Good evening, dear comrades, people of Cuba, to the people of Latin America and the Caribbean, from the south. Beyond our spaces and frontiers, dear Army General Raúl Castro Ruz, presidents, head of delegations, this summit number 20th of these 17 years, in which in the same space, Commander Fidel Castro Ruz and Yo Chava Frias gave that bold step to start building the new union of Latin America. A step full of conviction, full of morale, of strength. A huge challenge. But what is the life of a revolutionary? If they don't do something for those who need it. And fight for that. So when you see the history, ALBA has had a great capacity of creation, transformation, a capacity to go through the different problems and obstacles and moments, to generate, as we were saying today earlier, as Miguel Diaz-Canel was saying today, so great capacity of impacting with actions in the lives of peoples. When Fidel and Chávez used to sit and talk, there were two geniuses when they visualized the deployment of health plans, of the education plans in energy. Today we did a balance, a pretty broad balance and wide. I think the discussion we had in the meeting is we're facing new challenges from now on. We have come up with a plan that covers all dimensions of development of the development of our countries. It would look like a common place to say that only together we will make our dream of development, stability dream, and well-being, true well-being and growing well-being of our countries will be possible. Each on our own way, not even in our world or in our region, will never achieve or stand on basic ground the development of their countries and the development of life. So we're taking the phrase of the indigenous Aymaras from our America. I think the discussions today so taking the priority of integration, of union of the integration of the social, cultural, and political, non-political, economic, and financial, and work on the harmonic pace of the projects in ALBA. The architecture is set. The challenges are there. We talk a lot about the pandemic in the world. We're talking a lot about the post-pandemic world. As one of the factors that is leading to the emergence of the new time that is affecting the lives of people. We're talking a lot about the role of the social media, which you have to use correctly. And there are social mass media that are controlling the culture, the information, the public information throughout the entire world. We're talking a lot about the great economic changes, technological changes that mark a new time that is right in front of us, a new reality. ALBA has had the ability to react in these 70 years, but without a doubt, the challenges ahead in the new time are far more greater and complex. But I truly feel we are ready. Dear presidents, prime ministers, heads of delegations, special guests to this cultural event, this closure of this 20th summit, we are ready. ALBA has the political strength, the knowledge, the experience, and with a little of attention. I was saying this in this morning's speech. So we're taking decisions right next to the anguishes of our peoples, right next to the combat plans against the imperial plots, imperial conspiracies. Because the United States are ruling the Nobel Prizes. So there will be a long time before the people in the United States demanding changes will see it. Even though some deny the Monroe Doctrine, it is a Monroe Doctrine that is imposed, and they're taking the decisions on Nicaragua, on Cuba, on Bolivia, on Venezuela, on Latin America, and the Caribbean. And the end is a Monroe Doctrine, America for the Americans, because they think we are their backyard. Nobody let be fooled by this. So the Prime Minister Frank Gonsalves was explaining this. We have to do politics. We have to do diplomacy. We agree. Every day. Politics, diplomacy. We have to defend the truth, the rights, and the peace, and the right of our peoples to self-determination, to the free exercise of their sovereignty. That's what we do every day. That's what we say. Next to the plans of defense and combat and the rights, we have to place our fundamental decisions, the ALBA decisions. We have approved a plan. I was a minister to President Chavez for many years. I've been president for 9 years now. And I've had the chance to see the general secretaries of the states of ALBA. I have the chance to see many difficult moments, conjunctures. And I think we are in a special moment of ALBA. If we pace up, if we punctuate, if we lay importance to the main topics, if we highlight on the main economic problems, if we take the word of President Luis Alberto Arce, and we go in the right economic direction to produce food, to produce medicine, to produce assets and services. If we take the monetary advice of ALBA, and we take these current issues of cryptocurrencies, if we are able to re-engineer and expand the banks of ALBA, we have it here today, everything, the financial and economic architecture. If we are able to place the monetary, economic, productive area in the center of our actions, I'm sure that the new time that is coming will also find ALBA in the vanguard of the changes and the revolutionary changes that our people need. I truly believe in this. Comrade President Miguel Diaz, it has been an extraordinary day of preparation. We wish that the elements in the declarations of the plan can be divulged through the traditional means, of communication, through the media, and can be explained to the youth. The ALBA of the peoples, the Bolivarian Alliance for the peoples of our America, is an alliance. It's a cooperation alliance, not an alliance for war. Daniel Ortega used to say, we have never imagined or said to make a fleet, an armada of ALBA, to go encircling, threatening this region or any other region in the world. It's not a threatening alliance. It's not an alliance to dispute territories of land. It's an alliance to dispute the territory of life, to build the dreams of utopia. That's why it's a Bolivarian alliance, because it is to conduct the longings of our peoples. It is a Bolivarian alliance for the peoples, not for the governments, not for the elites, not for political groups. It is an alliance for the peoples. Let's call for the peoples. Let's call for the working class, to the farmers, to the youth. Let's call for the alliance of ALBA, of the peoples, for the peoples, so that they go with us and take the reins of our plans. 70 years of our path, and ALBA has already a name. ALBA is present. They have to count on ALBA if we want a united Latin America. United and happy. A Latin American and the Caribbean together will be witness of construction. Long live the 17 years of the Alliance of the Peoples of America. Long live the Cuban Revolution. Long live the great homeland. Till victory, always. So we're inviting Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, First Secretary of the Central Committee and the Communist Party, founder of ALBA, for him to say the main words of this event. Dear General, Army General Raúl Castro Ruz, esteemed heads of the states, heads of delegations and guests, comrades, Nicolas, thank you for your true words, for your solidarity with Cuba, with ALBA and with the world. 70 years ago, the historical leaders of the revolutionary processes of Cuba and Venezuela, Hugo Chávez Frías and Fidel Castro Ruz, founded the Bolivarian Alternative for the Americas, which meant turn into the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of our America, a true strength of solidarity, of compact unity that honors with its example to our peoples of America. Through all these years of hardships, and with the disappearance of their architects, this alliance kept as a principle the spirit of brotherhood and defense of the national sovereignty. And the almost 2 years facing the terrible pandemic COVID-19, the relation between the state members was felt, especially in the solidarity actions. Sharing the leader of what each of them had, the alliance proved that supporting ourselves, it was not necessary, but also possible. While our peoples felt the impact of the paralyzation by the pandemic, the United States and other transnationals would not cease the plundering of our economies of Latin America. So our peoples still feel this impact, but the accounts of the most powerful don't. So those with this those most powerful are taking advantage of this that is affecting the whole world. So their moral is not on the level of the human intelligence that has been able to create vaccines. Some wealthy nations, people decide not to vaccinate. There's countries and even continents that lack of this possibility. We're witnessing a wide open for hegemony by the United States, in which the United States wants to substitute the work of international organizations. So they're making lists on countries that are not supposed to be fulfilled with democracy and human rights. They made a summit for democracy organized by the United States, in which they invited most governments that have decided to attack governments. We're not interested in fulfilling the requirements requested by the United States in terms of democracy. So they're attacking countries that decide to choose a different path than them. So in this so-called democracy summit, in a phone exchange with President Vladimir Putin, said that Joe Biden warned this president that one nation cannot tell the other to change its politics, as some nations cannot tell the others who they should be working with. So the current tenant of the White House advises what he does not do. His country has been years imposing sanctions to thousands of people and countries. Cubans who suffer this policy of these sanctions wonder, what is the moral of the United States, and who gave them the authority to decide? Can this government be considered democratic if they are ruled by ultra far-right members? How can the United States explain this summit? The control of the media to chase, incarcerate, and weaken progressive figures. We condemn the United States in this summit for their massacres and the retaliation and chase of indigenous people, Satans, and many atrocities to whom they ignored through instruments like the OAS. In that summit, they talk about the plans of the United States to reverse social projects advanced by left governments that actually won the elections. How can they explain the coup d'etat in Bolivia, in which they organized openly? So when the coup d'etat, the former President Donald Trump say bravo Bolivia. Supposedly Joe Biden, which is different to his predecessor, has invited the non-elected president of Bolivia to the summit of democracy to be quiet as to the amount of social leaders that have been killed that are against the hegemonic control. Why didn't they speak in that summit about the politicians who hide their fortunes in fiscal paradises? So, allow me to tell you, they're not inviting us to that summit. We welcome this. as a sanction. They cannot hide the dignity of the Venezuelan, the Nicaraguan, and the Cuban people. So we've been too much, it's been too much punishment by this so-called world police. So we have the blood of our heroes that fought for our independence. We have the moral of Martí and Fidel and Maceo, and the teachings and the leadership of Raúl, from all of them and many other brave Cubans, which will make an endless list, that taught us to defend the country land and the homeland or die for it. As Latin Americans, we feel heirs to Bolivar, Augusto César Sandino, and other leaders, including Hugo Chavez. And with Fidel, they gave a contemporary vision to our unity and solidarity, which are principles that make our democracy. The sons of Latin America, as Che Guevara used to say, are men and women free that will not hesitate to the attacks of the enemy. We're willing to sacrifice for the ultimate sacrifice and to achieve the happiness of our peoples. As our national hero, José Martí, this is the hour of the recount, and we have to walk in tight ranks as the silver in the Andes Mountains. We have to continue moving within our modest possibilities in our solidarity and cooperation programs, and others that we will continue developing. The achievements of the Cuban scientists against COVID-19 with the vaccines and others that are under permission, they are at the service of the humanity, and in particular to our brothers in Latin America and the Caribbean. Long live the 17th anniversary of the summit, of the alliance. Long live Chavez and Fidel. Till victory, always. Ahora sí. As closure of this event, we invite you to enjoy of the presentation of the play. I think ALBA started with that hug by the children's company La Colmenita by José Alberto Cremata. This touching play reminds of important moments between the commander-in-chief of Fidel Castro and the memory of Hugo Chavez Frias and the memorable friendship of theirs. Let's see the grace and the charm, heart of this little hive that is Cuban and also Latin American. Enjoy it.
Bueno, mis niños, ya nos habíamos propuesto desde aquella vez en el centro, Fidel Castro, hacer varias guerrillas, ¿sí o no? Pero la que les propongo hoy, bueno, como ya todos ustedes saben, además de por Fidel, ¿por quién más va a ser? Por Chávez. Y por el ALBA, claro. A ver, ¿quién trajo preparada la primera idea para soñar con ellos en esta guerrilla?
Yo, profe.
A ver, Saleh.
Profe, todos saben que
Profe.
Fidel y Chávez dieron a luz
Everybody
a una
knows that
organización especial,
Fidel and Chavez
ALBA. Y los de mi equipo
gave birth to ALBA.
principios dedicados a los países que le integran.
And my team is dedicated to the countries that are members of
A
it.
ver, empiezo yo.
I start.
Esta historia comenzó
This story began with Cuba and Venezuela,
como una escuela
and then as a
para
school
nuestros pueblos
for
se
our
abrió.
peoples
Parte de América
was
vio
open.
en el ALBA la verdad y fue la oportunidad de soñar el socialismo y cambiar el egoísmo por la solidaridad.
Ay, gracias, Saleh. Qué linda. Profe. A ver, Amanda, dale.
Tras Bolivia, con valor, Santa Lucía y Nicaragua se subieron a la guagua rumbo a un futuro mejor. San Cristóbal, con valor, le dijo al ALBA presente. Y cuando entró San Vicente, sin dejar a Antigua afuera,
No hubo nadie que dijera, no hay cama para tanta gente. A ver, Pepi.
Dominica está hoy aquí, con Granada, que en su empeño están continuando el sueño de Bolívar y Martí. Y aunque el imperio está ahí, mostrando uñas y dientes, siguen levantando puentes desde Chávez y Fidel, Maduro, Diaz-Canel y los demás presidentes.
Ay, gracias. Bueno, con todos esos versitos lindos, comenzamos nuestra nueva guerrilla. ¿Sí o no? La monitora Marta, junto con los profes que tienen armado el grupito vocal ese que imita a los samplings, organicen la competencia de siempre. Por cierto, María Carla, que ya es toda una jovencita monitora, fue la niña que siendo apenas una bebita de 3 meses de nacida, fue la que interpretó el personaje del ALBA que nacía allá, aquel 14 de diciembre de 2004. Y esta es esa que ven ahí en los brazos de Chávez y de Fidel. Chiquitilla. Gracias, profe. Qué sorpresa tan linda. Bueno, nos vamos a dividir en 2 bandos, como siempre. Uno lo sigue dirigiendo la profe Carolina. ¡Eso! Y el otro, los profes René y Rey. Que nos vamos a proponer, a partir de ahora, salir a investigar y sobre todo descubrir esencias de Chávez y Fidel. ¿Recuerdan lo que es una esencia? Sí, ¿verdad? Vamos a recordarlo todos juntos, ¿sí? Una esencia es algo así
Como la verdad última de las cosas.
como la verdad última de las cosas. Aunque no se vea mucho, es
Lo más importante.
lo más importante.
es el relleno de la silueta.
Es el relleno de la silueta que vemos en todas las cosas. Pueden ser leídas de memoria, cantadas, teniendo en cuenta, como decía nuestro Martí, que no se sabe bien, sino lo que se descubre. Muy bien, lo que se descubre. Gracias, María. Alain, ya puedes leer el documento de la partida.
Voy para allá. Tropa de la guerrilla por Chávez y por Fidel. Ah, claro, y por el ALBA. Llegó el día. nos vamos al encuentro de la vida y la obra de dos grandes de América. Tenemos que dejar atrás el cansancio y el desánimo, que estamos haciendo algo grande. Que no se diga que uno de nosotros corrió delante de los mosquitos. Que no se diga que nos asustamos con las ranas de la letrina. Que no se diga que dejamos comida en la bandeja. Y que no se diga, y esto sí es serio, caballero, que no aprendimos del heroísmo, del valor, del humanismo y de la cultura infinita de Chávez y de Fidel. Porque nadie se va a morir, y menos ahora.
El aire toma forma de tornado y en el van amarradas la muerte y el amor. Una columna oscura se levanta y los niños se arrancan los juegos de un tirón. Abuelan tus tijeras son rurales y cortan otros males, pero ese viento no. Guárdate tu oración, amigo viejo, e invoca Peralejo, que nos viene mejor.
Nadie se va a morir, menos ahora. Esta mujer sagrada inclina el Señor. Nadie se va a morir, la vida toda es un breve segundo de su sueño. Nadie se va a morir, la vida toda es nuestro talismán, es nuestro manto. Nadie se va a morir, menos ahora. El canto de la patria es nuestro canto.
Donde ha viajado siempre la mira del fusil, que hable la fértil puntería, que esa garganta envía mi forma de vivir. Como entre todas las cosas ciertas, grabaron una puerta en el centro de abril. Con patria se ha dibujado el nombre del alma de los hombres que no van a morir.
Nadie se va a morir, menos ahora que esta mujer sagrada inclina el Señor. Nadie se va a morir, la vida toda es un breve segundo de su sueño. Nadie se va a morir, la vida toda es nuestro talismán, es nuestro manto. Nadie se va a morir, menos ahora. El canto de la patria es nuestro canto.
Y después de este preludio hermoso que acabamos de disfrutar, ¿quién trajo preparada alguna creación propia para abrazar a Chávez y a Fidel? Yo prefiero.
A ver, ¿sabes?
Bueno, no es mía. Me ayudó mi tía.
¿Y cómo se llama tu tía?
Tomasita Guiala.
Ah, lo sabía yo. Dale.
El padre nació en Miranda. El hijo allá en Sabaneta. Los atrajo en el planeta del amor como un imán. Chávez adoró el Caimán. Fidel amó su región. Y a pesar de la extensión entre montes y sabanas, como gemelas hermanas, Cuba y Venezuela son.
Gracias, Adri.
Yo, profe,
A ver. El hijo partió primero, sereno, sin un doblez. Y el padre al cabo de 3 años fue tras su heredero. Por el mismo derrotero que conduce a la victoria, llegaron hacia la gloria. Y hoy se encuentran, hijo y padre, cuidando de nuestra madre América y de su historia.
gracias.
Y ahora, un estreno para nuestra noche cultural. El conjunto típico de la escuela nos trae para saludar al ALBA, una canción del inolvidable Carlos Puebla. Y como el director está aquí hoy en el campamento, vamos a invitarlo a que toque la guitarra, que a él le gusta tocar la guitarra con los muchachos. Ahí viene con el profe René, tocando el bajo, ¿no? Bueno, ¿están listos? ¿Sí? ¿Todos están listos? ¿Están listos para oír? ¿Sí? Bueno, entonces, música, director. No, que diga, música, maestro.
¡Arriba! Pregunto yo en mi canción al que grita y patalea. Caballero ahí en la OEA, ¿qué pasó en su reunión?
¿Cómo no me voy a reír de la wea si es una cosa tan fea que causa risa?
Estoy acá en mi rincón preguntándome hace rato cómo es posible que al gato le meta miedo el ratón.
¿Cómo no me voy a reír de la wea si es una cosa tan fea que causa risa?
¡Vamos, la palma, la palma! ¡Va y va! No es miedo el que usted me da por su OEA y sus pamplinas, porque yo de las gallinas me estoy riendo por acá. Para acabar le diré, en medio de tanta prisa, la OEA es cosa de risa y yo riendo seguiré.
¿Cómo no me voy a reír de la wea si es una cosa tan fea que causa risa?
Y ahora, por mi equipo, un dúo de repentistas que están escapados. Iván Luis, Emiliano Sardiñas, el poeta de la mochilita, y Camilita Kiala.
tierra al monstruo cruel. De un montañoso cuartel, orgulloso baja Hugo, y al liberarla del yugo, llega Fidel Castro Ruz, compartiendo un pan de luz con quien le falta un mendrugo.
No está invitada a la OEA porque promoviendo viene. No está invitada a la OEA porque promoviendo viene. El odio y el odio tiene la cara bastante fea. El ALBA solo desea ver a los pueblos unidos. Y los que hay aquí reunidos no están nada interesados en vivir colonizados por los Estados Unidos.
Martín dijo en la Edad de Oro: los padres se lo quieren dar todo a sus hijos. Y si ven un caballo hermoso, con la cola que les reluce y el pelo como seda, no piensan en montarse ellos como señorones y salir trotando por la alameda donde van de paseo por las tardes los coches y los jinetes, sino que piensan en sus hijos, los padres, y se ponen a trabajar todavía más para comprarle al hijito el caballo hermoso. Así son los padres buenos, que creen que todos los niños son sus hijos.
Fidel le reveló a su hermano Hugo que un mensaje que envió a Cuba cuando lo del Granma, él lo había firmado con el mágico seudónimo de Dr. Chávez. Hugo le respondió: Fidel, pero si en el 56 yo era un niño chiquito. Fidel lo miró fijo y le dijo: Chávez, yo sabía que tú venías.
Y ahora, una sorpresa de mi equipo, con la ayuda del círculo infantil que apadrinamos. ¿Sí? ¿Están aquí otra vez? Vengan, corran. Fidel y Chávez eran capaces de pensar lo infinito y de indagar por el más sencillo detalle. Por ejemplo,
¿Por dónde sale el sol en el lugar del acto?
hasta se preocupaban por eso.
For any of our viewers who are just joining us, we are watching the closing ceremony of the 20th ALBA-TCP summit that was held this Tuesday in Havana with the presence of several heads of state and government of the bloc. We're watching a play by La Colmenita, the children's theatre company of Cuba, which is related to the founding of the ALBA-TCP bloc, which was founded by Comandantes Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez.
Si al otro día llovía, el acto no se podía hacer. Muy bien, Caro. ¿Y tú?
¿Cuántos libros caben en un CD?
¿Qué pregunta esa? ¿Cuántos libros cabrán en un CD? Muy bien. ¿Y ustedes, chiquitines?
¿En qué tiempo se puede cambiar la mente de un niño? La gran pregunta, Elian.
Sí, la gran pregunta de Fidel cuando lo de Elian. Muy bien. Un aplauso, caballero, para estos niños.
¡Oye, qué bien!
Muy bien. Muchachos, les tengo tremenda sorpresa. ¿Qué les parece si traemos una vez más al mismísimo comandante Chávez para que cante otra vez, junto con su Colmenita, la canción de Venezuela que tanto le gustaba a Fidel? ¿Quieren verlo? Miren, miren para allá.
El comandante escuchaba con mucha emoción la canción de Venezuela. Eso creo que también era porque se llenaba de Chávez cuando escuchaba esa música.
Siento el camino.
Como una mujer, soy así, ¿qué voy a hacer?
Soy desierto, selva, nieve y volcán, y al andar dejo mi estela, el rumor y el llanto en una canción que me desvela. La mujer que quiero tiene que ser corazón, fuego y escuela, con la piel tostada como una flor de Venezuela.
¡Viva Cuba! ¡Viva Venezuela! ¡Vivan los niños, las niñas!
De los montes quiero la inmensidad y del río la acuarela y de ti los hijos que sembrarán nuevas estrellas. Y si un día tengo que naufragar, el tifón rompe mis velas, enterrar mi cuerpo cerca del mar en Venezuela.
Fidel, que una vez ante una pregunta pública sobre su chaleco protector, se abrió la camisa y enseñó su pecho verde olivo, lo dejó claro. Lo que llevo es un escudo moral. La revelación desconcertaría más a sus enemigos, que seguramente comprendieron, no solo que nunca podrían matarlo, sino que aquel barbudo jamás llegará a morirse.
Desde aquel día de aquel abrazo, la humilde vida mía quedó sellada para siempre al lado del gigante que es Fidel. Y a mí me invitaron, fue a dar una charla aquí. Y mira por dónde va.
We've been watching live the closing event of the 20th summit of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America People's Trade Treaty, which sessioned this Tuesday here in Havana. The event concluded with a cultural act as heads of state and government of member countries and their accompanying delegations celebrated the 17th anniversary of the founding of the bloc by Comandantes Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez as an alternative to neoliberalist and imperialist proposals for the Latin American and Caribbean region. We will, of course, continue to provide you with coverage of all the major events in the region. For teleSUR English, I'm Katrina Goss. Thank you for watching.